What is going on, people? It's the day after, the night before. Crawford versus Madrimov card was absolutely fantastic. Very interesting decisions on there, some very interesting decisions on there, but we need to go through the card and talk about some of the amazing fights we saw. I was able to stay up for the majority of this one. Still got my coffee here, you know what I mean? Still feeling a little bit tired from it, but some great fights on the card. Let's get into today's video. All right, Crawford versus Madrimov. We're going to be talking about some of the fights on the undercard, but not necessarily the heavyweights just yet. I'm going to save that for another video. But let's start off by talking about Andy Cruz versus Moran, Antonio Moran. Now, this was a really good fight for Cruz. Nice little kind of coming out party for him. And he was tested in this fight. Got his chin checked, I believe it was round 4. He was looking slick up until that point. You know, those slick Cuban boxing moves. Looking really slick. But round 4, he got caught. I think it was a left hook over the top. Antonio Moran went down to the body with a jab to the body and did really a lovely sneaky left hook over the top. Kept his body down and then threw the left hook over the top and put extra power into it on that side, so that Andy Cruz was focused on that body shot and didn't think about something else coming back over, because Antonio Moran's body was still down. So he didn't think he's going to throw another shot with that same arm. Beautiful shot. Caught him on the temple. Got Andy Cruz's legs a little bit wobbly. Cruz showed great recovery, very. His chin checked in this fight, which is what we kind of need to see in the pros and kind of see what his heart's made of. And he was able to fight back, able to hold, get his legs back under him. I believe it was round 7, I think it was, that Cruz eventually stopped Moran. Hit him with a good right hand over the top, good counter right hand. But then Moran's legs went wobbly, little switcheroo, Uno reverse. And no one's called this an early stoppage, which I'm happy to see. Moran did get back up, he did beat the count. The ropes kept him up, but then he stumbled into the corner, which was quite a bad sight to see. So the referee made a very good call on that one. Interesting to see where Andy Cruz's career goes next. He's developing very well. Next up, let's talk David Morel versus Kadeem. Now, this wasn't as exciting of a fight on this one. Like I said, I did say that Morel would win, but I did think it would be a bit easier for him than it was. Like, it was still clear on the scorecards. I do believe Morel won the fight very clearly. Kadeem is a very tough fighter, and obviously Morel's moving up to 175 for the first time. But what he needs to do is leave Beterbiev's name out your mouth. Keep your damn name. He needs to keep it out of his mouth because he's just not ready. It's similar when Benavidez went up to 175, moving from 168, and you just realize it's not the same. So Morel has some work to do if he wants to. Stay at 175 and to kind of build power and build, fight a few more tough fights at 175 to kind of see if his power can, carry over, which it didn't really in this fight. Didn't really have Kadeem in too much danger throughout this fight. So yeah, interesting to see what Morel does from here. I do think he should stay at 175, have a few more fights to get used to it, and then we can see where he's at. Next up, let's talk a Pitbull Cruz versus Jose. Now, this was a very interesting fight. Once again, I thought this was going to be kind of a foregone conclusion. I thought this is just, Cruz kind of a coming out party for him, and he had the home crowd advantage. But his opponent Jose, he was really doing some great boxing. Cruz, like I said before, is an absolute animal. The way that he has such a tight guard and just walks his opponent down. Some good head movement here and there. Most of the time he doesn't need it because he's got such a good tight guard. When you're throwing punches, throwing jabs, nothing's getting through. But the opponent did very well, Jose, to keep him away with the jab and stayed on the back foot for the majority of the fight. So yes, that forward pressure would count in Cruz's favor. But he was also making him miss quite a lot. And towards the mid to later rounds, he really started to come into the fight, Jose, and he was hitting Cruz with those left uppercuts from the southpaw position. He was countering him, timing him perfectly as Cruz opened up from the guard, catching him in between shots. And there's been a little bit of controversy. Some people, especially in the stadium, the home crowd was thinking that, Cruz won the fight. I can understand how that can be seen. He's pressing the action, ring generalship, pressure, whatever, but it wasn't effective pressure. Jose was countering him quite a lot and making Cruz miss quite a lot. Early parts of the fight, I did think, okay, Cruz is going to knock him out soon. He was catching him with those left hooks over the top. But Jose really managed to kind of find his rhythm and understand, okay, this is the fight I have to fight. I believe the right fighter won. I do believe that Jose Venezuela, I believe his name, Venezuela? Yeah, Venezuela. I believe I think he definitely deserved to win. Cruz didn't really have much answer, and he had only one goal, and that was it, one game plan. And yeah, I feel like Jose definitely deserved to win. Right person won. I don't know if that's going to be controversial. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Next up, we talk the main event of the evening. We're talking Crawford versus Madrimov. Now, Madrimov was tough, and it wasn't really a surprise to me. Now, I knew that he'll be a tough fighter. What I do believe is that the inexperience of Madrimov kind of cost him the fight. I think it was a very, very close fight. And I've seen some people saying robbery on this one as well. It's not a robbery. Bud won that fight, but maybe by 1 or 2 rounds. It wasn't a clear victory as some of the scorecards might suggest. Madrimov had some good moments in there. He was kind of the same thing I say in the unorthodox, leaping into punches, moving himself, a good change in angles. But Crawford's work on the inside was very, very good. Some good flurries here and there. Yeah, it was a good fight, but I definitely believe that Crawford won it by 1 or 2 rounds. Now, we need to dead the talk of Crawford-Canelo. That's what I believe. Some people may think differently, but I just don't think that Crawford is ready for Canelo. Obviously, it's not any kind of indictment on Crawford, because it's jumping up so far and it's just way too far. If he was having troubles with Madrimov at this level, he's going to have those troubles with Canelo. Canelo's got a very good chin, and obviously, yes, that can be tested and stuff. Got a very good chin, and he's being hit with big, heavy punches at 168, 160, heavy punches at 175. Crawford coming up from 147, I don't believe the power will carry up. It's not carrying up to 154, so I don't know what he's going to do at 168. It's a bit ridiculous that we kind of considered it, but you know, we can but dream. I don't know what he's going to do next. I do believe he should stay at 154 and trying to build on that and kind of get used to the power. Same thing I said with David Morel. Maybe the look is to fight Charlo. Now, that should have been a fight at 154 anyway, but Charlos are just, who knows what they're doing, they're a bit waste anyway. But if they do come back, I think that's the next fight, or look at some of the other champs 154 and develop and kind of make his body understand that power and understand how to take those shots and kind of the different body weight of the opponents that you're fighting. I think he needs to just adjust to that a little bit better before he thinks about moving up again. But Madrimov is a really, really good fighter. And it was so early on in his career. I think he's still got so much time to develop. And this loss was such a close loss as well. I think there's only ways up for him from here. I think he should try and go for another belt very, very soon. I don't think he should go too far down in the levels and stuff. I think Madrimov is definitely one to watch out for the future. Now, we're going to talk the heavyweights in another video, but I just want to quickly just say about it. Jared Anderson, I knew it was going to happen. I wanted him to win, but I didn't believe in him. I did say, like, I didn't really get the hype. I thought it was a bit of a hype job. And I do think maybe it's another heavyweight exposed. I've done a video on that before. Uncle Turkey is definitely exposing the heavyweights with his matchmaking. And I do think it's a little bit heavyweights exposed, but not quite, because I just think it was maybe a little bit too early for him. So yeah, and Ruiz versus Miller, I believe it was robbery, but we'll talk in another video. Let me know, what did you think of the fights? What do you think of these nights of fights? What do you think of the Riyadh season outside of Saudi Arabia? That's another big thing. Is it working? I mean, I definitely believe it was. There's so many stars in the house as well. It kind of raises the profile of the whole event. So let's see if it does even more in the future. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. Like, share, subscribe. See you soon. Peace.